inside of the bundle you'll see individual fibers called myofibrils, and on the myofibril there are individual parts called the sarcomere, which are the actual contractile units of the myofibril. And inside the myofibril you'll see thick filaments and thin filaments. And the thick filaments and the thin filaments work together in order to get a contraction. So let's start with myosin. Myosin is part of the thick filament. Myosin is bound to the M line. And then we have actin, and actin is attached to the Z line on the outer sides of the sarcomere. And then actin and myosin work together in order to contract the sarcomere, and which ultimately causes a huge contraction.
So the heads of the myosin bind to the actin sites, and that forms a cross bridge, which starts the walk along. So at the cross bridge site there's an ADP and PI molecule that get knocked off by an ATP molecule at the myosin head. The ATP molecule allows for relaxation at the cross bridge, and the ADP and PI molecule allow for the active sites to be bound. This whole process creates the movement of the cross bridge.
So as this is going on, you're going to get calcium that's going to be floating around these actin and myosin sites. And the calcium is going to bind to a certain form of troponin, which is just a protein on the active sites of the actin. The calcium is going to bind to the certain type of troponin C. And it's going to hop off, and these little ropes are going to allow for the active sites to be open. And that rope is called tropomyosin, and what it covers up is the active site, which allows the myosin head to bind.
So while this is happening at the neuromuscular junction, there is a nerve impulse that's coming down from the axon, and it'll come into the cell or into the nerve ending and release acetylcholine across the synaptic cleft into the receptors. The receptors allow the action potential to go through, which releases calcium across the sarcoplasmic reticulum into the muscular cells, and the calcium moves down into the tropomyosin, which allows this whole process to take place. In other words, it's a circle of life, Anita.